Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. We've got some interesting discussions to get through and they have been acknowledged by some people in the background. So that's what I want to be doing today, catching up on comments I should be responding back to. By doing a video like this, I should be able to, and you never know, new ideas may come about, which could mean new videos. Might be a bit too soon in a way because I've still got a list that I do need to tick off the list, but you know, don't want to fall behind too much. So that's basically all I'm doing today, looking back at comments, responding to questions, adding on to other points. But what I will do is just add in some counterpoints before I go further in just a bit. So make sure to stick about because I've seen some criticism elsewhere. So I'll just give my thoughts, weigh in on that because people do make big mistakes along the way, how they jump the gun and what they say and do. It's kind of cringeworthy and a bit pathetic at times. And what I have noticed is, and it kind of applies to life in general, not to get too far, but I can be the youngest person in the room, yet the most, not intelligible, not a chance, but one of the most common sense based persons present. Or I am the most negative person present most of the time. And yet at the end of the fucking day, I tend to be the one having to do the positive people's job when they can't. My God, what is it with human race? I wonder if in time I'll need to do an analysis. I've not done that for a very long time. I remember in 2014, wow, what I said there, the dark stuff that I said and predicted, it's exactly what's happened with time. But that's in general. What we can focus in today is the case and just see if anything's been missed out, if there's any new information, any additional questions and whatnot. So welcome to those that are present in this live premiere. Share your thoughts and opinions in the live chat box on the right-hand side of the screen. And by the end of this video, if you do have anything additional to say, you can drop a comment down below as it will help with spreading awareness of the case and this video. And if you want to catch up on previous videos of mine, if you've missed any, don't worry, top right, there'll be the eye symbol up there. Click on that and you get the full playlist. I think I might be close to 200 videos, maybe edging onto it. In the space of time I've been on the case, done what I can and still things to do. But I think first of all, down below comment section, you'll see a pinned comment with additional links if you want to support this channel. Shout out to those that have done kind of in recent time, and credit to one individual. I'll just say the letter L, much appreciated. That's all good. So to acknowledge some counterpoints by people. So, you know, it's just the mentality with these humans. You'd think, okay, person maybe of an older age, a bit more experience, a bit more patience, a bit more understanding. Fuck that shit. No. That doesn't always apply, as I've seen myself. I seem to conduct myself a lot better than other people do, but it is where it is. So, you know, I've seen some counterpoints, and it happens on and off, in regards to some videos here and there if it reaches them elsewhere, typical Facebook. The way people complain and whine about the length or, oh, you know, this person's going through the text and it's been like 10 minutes on 2 lines. Yeah, bitch, you know, with me focusing on 2 lines, I'm picking up a lot more in that small space than you are in this entire bloody case, okay? So get a grip of yourself, calm down, look, listen and learn, and maybe you won't be as much of an impetuous plum as you are. Because there's a lot of people that have shown themselves up with time, how they put themselves across, how they word things, how they may misunderstand stuff, how they get caught up in many situations which are messy with time. Maybe just slow down a little bit and spend an extra 10 minutes before acting. You'd have it more under control, just like me. Obviously, people don't. And then others, the way they word it, it sounds like they're fucking stuck in Afghanistan or something as bombs are going about all around. Oh, I'm dragging my body around for 30 minutes. I can't hold on no more. This video of Warlike Rouse is taking too long. I do not want to yield. Just get a grip of yourself. What are you doing? Okay? When does one have to lock in and get serious? Do I have to transition into that? Time will tell. But the way people word it like it's such a Herculean task and effort at the same time when humans are quite okay with watching a 2-hour long, a 3-hour long podcast. My videos are not a podcast. It's a standard video format, okay? So it's just that typical mentality of picking and choosing. I'll take that 7-hour long video. Oh, but by the way, Raf, that 2-hour long one, I can't bear it anymore. Come on, let me tell you something very clear. And feel free to listen in if there are any lurkers in the background. The bloody reality is, I have made shorter videos. Some prats on Reddit complain saying all he does is long ones. No, I even did a video with full-on proof and evidence that I've got, at a certain point in time, more shorter videos than longer format ones. And I showed it all one by one in my video documenting it all. Oh, is that not good enough? Or did people just concede there and didn't want to accept the reality and that they were wrong? Well, that'd be bloody typical, wouldn't it? But in addition, when it comes to shorter format videos, what happens there? Only so much is talked about, which means other stuff is missed out. Why would you want to miss out on key things? It seems stupid, counterproductive. And let me tell you something as well as a fact, okay, because I do have enough experience now. Statistically speaking, me doing shorter format videos, the average viewer attention rate, the average watch duration is so much worse when I do a shorter video. No joke. I can do a 5-minute video and people struggle to watch that. I can do a 3-minute video and people struggle to watch that. So it means fuck all at the end of the day, okay? So I might as well just do a longer format one where most people who are present actually appreciate it. And at the end of the day, the style and format does not restrict people. What is it with the impetuous, pathetic mindset within the human race out there at times? You know, visual, auditory, there are different senses which can be used for these videos. Come on, let's be realistic, right? If it's spooky narration, like a ghost story, do you have to be sat there watching the screen for 3 hours long? No. You can be doing other stuff, getting on with other things, or just sat back or sleeping and you're just listening in. That's what a lot of people do with time. Or even a podcast. Most people are going to listen to it, not actually physically watch it. I'm an exception because I look at the body language and behavior. I spend that extra level, layer, and time looking at that as well. That's what enables me to pick up on more. Other humans fail there, right? It's pathetic. So these extra layers and levels, the variation, the tools at hand, just like in the past with the Dylan Rounds case, people constantly complaining and whining. You've got the tools, you have the power yourself to block people you don't like. It's as simple as. If it's impacting your viewing experience or your communication with others in the chat, just block people. Then you don't have to see the cancer again. It's that simple and easy. You got the tools, you got the options, bloody well use it. And it's the same in a different theme with this case and community. Oh, the videos are too long. Oh, we need to speed up. Use the gear icon. It's on the playback bar. Oh my goodness, how do people not know this? Okay, I'm not talking about 190-year-olds. No, we're talking about people who are quite familiar with YouTube as a platform in general, and they just never decide to click on the gear icon and increase the speed. You have the tools, you have the power to make use, and you just don't use it, right? It's pathetic. This is all realistic observations along the way. But when referring back to my videos, a visual map analysis, eyesight may be required. Comment-based, if you want to treat it as a podcast, auditory, usage of ears, right? There's been people with time that said they have been driving or getting on with stuff, getting chores done, listening in. Fine, it works for them. They can do 2 at once. Very practical, very efficient. So what's the big deal? What's the big issue with others? Exactly. And yeah, other people out there, cretins, will like to skip along and speed past. Well, if you do, there's a high chance you're going to miss out. And what happens? Let's make a prediction. A Warlike Ref one, like usual, is when it comes to skipping ahead, speeding by, I've done what I've done. I've put my time in, put effort in, did what needs to be done, then relay it, share it. Others just speed by, fast track, get a quick snippet, understanding, and then piss off. And then down the line, I'm continuing on, doing some additional things, advancing. Others returning like, we demand answers. We need to know what's going on. What are you on about? This makes no sense. It would if you stayed around long enough, piss pot. It's that simple, right? And I also base it off the mentality of, in all honesty, if humans are quite okay and well with watching other stuff of varying lengths, but not this, well, it's very selective and also quite unfortunate, but it's not my problem. That aside, I think it's now time to go onto the YouTube comment section and let's see what people have had to say there. This video, the comment section, what we're taking a look at, I believe, is the explosive one that was done in recent time, the one where things have supposedly got worse. And I just want to react to, what went down at the time, whatnot. Notice the Alex, whatever that is, Tammy. What does Tammy have to say? Raf, maybe you should do another video about the Texas boys and Ava and Carter going riding in the ATV looking for Noah. Yep, I did already do that. What was mentioned, we've seen all that. That'd be a great podcast. So yeah, I've already done that, so I don't really need to respond. One day, great video, much appreciated. There we go, that's all good. Night. We got Melissa laughing my F-ass off. That's good. Jam. Well, if Caden was asleep and Alicia Lee was a mile away, he wouldn't see what vehicle his mom came in, right? So he might assume that she was driving her car. Yeah, it's probably more so assuming because Alicia never made it to the party house. Alicia never went there nor met up with Caden. It was all down the highway away from the party house. So that's all you could think, assuming. And that is a pattern, Jam, with assuming this or that, because Caden Pressey, in his private interview, said he assumed that after 3 a.m, Noah was in the house and he could see him. He assumed that Noah was there. But physically, realistically, wasn't. From that interview, at least. One day. I was thinking Caden Pressey would relate the Camaro to his mom when asked what she was driving. I don't think there's anything sinister behind that. I agree with you. There seems to be too many assumptions. We need to find out who didn't sleep at the relevant time. Yep. I've heard that Carter was the designated driver, a girl to Terrell, driving Mikey back from Terrell. And yes, it's too much to ask for them to provide proof. Yet Alicia and Caden are putting OHP on blast. They know their data is legit, so why should they say that unless they don't trust Ellie and need to go up to the DOJ? So it's interesting how Carter driving a girl and also driving Mikey back from Terrell, and yet it was Caden Pressey that said he was the one to drive Mikey back along with Isaac and Brylan. What the hell's going on there? Also need a timestamp on the video of Noah dancing in the kitchen area with the black shorts on. Yes, because it comes across as if it was Sunday, that, and there was no writing on his body. Cece, he's over 18. Why would Alicia Lee pick him up as well? I saw the Bloodthirsty asking that in the chat. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was asleep. He had his own vehicle. It's not like the cousin who was 15. Yeah. What do we have here? Daniel, the facts. I've seen things like phone logs and 360 tracking from Alicia Pressey. Seems way more truthful than other partygoers who have provided nothing but inconsistency, to name a couple. Bedtime, he saw him walk off. ATV, yeah. Texas boys. Denise Arnold says, Alicia, I'll say Alicia Lee, it's easier. Phone log was a joke. It did not show where the call was being made from. It did not show where the call was being made to. What if it was made 2:43 a.m. call from Duncan? Would that raise some questions for you? Maybe a few red flags? Response, I appreciated your feedback, but the other partygoers and their parents provide the call logs 360 to the public. Maybe I could have a different opinion, but unfortunately I left to the judge them off all the inconsistency. How is Alicia's screenshots of her phone logs and text messages from night before and early morning a joke? Are you also disputing or bringing into question Breeley's sister, who stated that 2 sisters drove to Terrell to pick Breeley in her car up, and then stated that they met Alicia and her sister on the road to Handoff, Georgia? Have any of the party host or party goers of the families offered their phone logs and messages from hours in question? Sherry, I'm sure they did to the ones that matter. So this is Jan Fiorillo. That's interesting. In response, I wonder if the party host and party goers who claim to have been threatened or harassed would ever have been threatened, harassed if they had shown their call logs and Life 360, alleged Snapchats, etc. that proved their timelines and innocence. If they have all this evidence that clears them from the investigation, why do you suppose Ellie has not announced that they have been cleared? Especially since Ellie is aware of these threats, harassment. I'm just wondering if Ellie knows all the party hosts and party goers are innocent. Why they're not letting the public know this? If Ellie is looking for a hit and run driver, why has Ellie not announced that? Shouldn't all the innocents be cleared by now? Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a fair point by what Jan says, because you can look at it from two sides. On one side, there is supposedly this evidence and that which pinpoints who's responsible and it's proof of a murder. Well, if that's really the case and you've got all that evidence, we've not heard anything announced publicly, we've not seen any public movement, not much progression. So is it enough? Is it true or what? And then on the other side, if it was truly treated as not murder, more an accident or a hit and run, not that much of a big of a deal in terms of the party goes, no relevancy there, we might as well get it over and done with, clear all the names and make it clear, make a public statement, press release, or press conference and interview to say this and that person cleared, so is that, done, dusted, and official. Not seen that. So it kind of reminds me like with the Dylan Rouse case where everybody's name wasn't cleared because of the police lacking. Even the parents of Dylan Rouse for quite some time weren't cleared, weren't treated as innocent. They were still seen as suspects, even though they had nothing to do with Dylan's death. But the police didn't clear them. The police didn't interview the likes of Brenner enough to get things moving. Quite embarrassing in a way, isn't it? What else do we have? Jam to Brooke. Brooke did not respond, but maybe she might later. It was stated that Carter had been in a car accident a week before the party, correct? What was the make and model of the car before her accident? What did she drive after? Same car or different one? This event, what Jam is referencing from what Brooke has stated in the past, is all in relation to Carter getting a new phone as well. Hence why it's interpreted as a factory reset when it's not, supposedly. But not everybody agrees. Jam, at that time, mark of my video, what do these people have to gain? I was pro-funding Caden Pressey getting his phone forensically analysed, and I still am for all party goers. The question is, why are people against that for other party goers? The question is, why aren't these pro-hit and run highway promoters putting their time and money towards that, like for real? Put out a flyer. BBC and everyone here who is sticking up for BBC and her family, actually buy a shirt for Noah, actually try for justice, actually try to spread awareness like Warlight Ref. Well, I appreciate that. Jam also mentions Renee Milan said in a screenshot that she was texted between 5:45 to 6 a.m. by Jasmine JMO. Jazz was the first one to call out for help at the party. Renee's husband, Renee's daughter and boyfriend, Clown Car. Clown Car, what's that? I've not heard that before. We got Mrs. Kibb. How can I contact you? Well, that's under control now. Moving on. Jam, BBC is the Mrs. Kelly Conway of the time. Who's that? Effective yet deemed to realise that she is a mouthpiece and will eventually jump ship if she has self-preservation instincts. The theme of jumping ship is something that extensively happened in the Dylan Rounds case. And there's one thing that I absolutely detest, besides hypocrites, reoccurring ones and users, is when you get a person or group that may go against you, they may hurt you, they may damage you, they may do some kind of negative stuff, and then they've got the cheek to then be on your side later, to then support you later. No, do not forget, simple as, once a cancer, always a cancer. That's the way I say it, got to be locked in. We've got clear there. This person called Jimmy, I don't know who that person is, with info. Well, it wasn't exactly info, it was more like a backstory or a suggestion, not with great confidence. Maybe we catch up on that at a later point. Frank, these party people getting nervous, Mr. Holmes saying there's getting hacked, etc. Mr. Holmes. Spyglass, good luck. Okay, appreciate that. Jade, is it true that Noah asked Brylan if Brylan had his back? Never heard of. Sherry, that's what has been told. Told where, when, and who by. It hasn't been denied that I've personally seen. I have to question why. So where did it first come from? When was it mentioned? Who's the one that said that Noah asked Brylan if he had his back? Robbie, it's been said by one person, Caden. Does Noah look scared in any of the videos or pictures from the party? He looks a little drunk. He looks like he's happy. That's correct. But is there any hidden footage, deleted photos which could show a different side? Justin, wait, they share the information yet don't comment. Just know anything that has ever been shared with Boy George was sent to BBC. That's what they do, but they're going to look very silly when foul play is proven and a staged hit-and-run scenario is proven, felonies for all of them, including the cover-up crew. Let's see what goes on here. George, keep in mind, anything shared with Roy Boy gets shared with Michael Fallon. Oh no, we're getting with the names, aren't we? But Justin doesn't like it when others do the exact same thing he's done. Oh, and both Justin and Michael have shared lots with BBC, but it's different when anyone else does. It was hilarious that even Roy screamed, I was hacked when he got caught. There's something in the water down there. Everybody, when they get caught, screams, I was hacked. It seems to be a bit of a theme about people getting hacked. But why? Why are people getting hacked? Is there a reoccurring theme to that? Robbie, Justin, at this point, you should really go back to questioning Alicia like you did in the beginning. Don't answer anything here about it. Just go back and watch it again. Ask yourself why she's lying about these things, then ask how it affects what Caden has contributed. We have to get through all the lies, and I mean all of them, to get the truth. We have formed tunnel vision because you care so much about this. Use your break to get back with fresh eyes. What does Justin say in response? Oh, I'm definitely open to everything. As you can tell, I've literally questioned every scenario, every person from 2 a.m. onwards. Trust me, my heart, my gut says hit and run scenario is staged all day. Who would do that at this point and why? And in my opinion, whoever staged the hit and run scenario caused Noah's death. What do we have here? Justin says to George, you are a liar. You have sent everything to BBC that I have shared with you. I have every screenshot of me and BBC conversations, and it's not very many. I've never sent her anything. Everyone knows you are the snake. That's why they all have you blocked. What, on Facebook? George responds to Justin, Justin, you are a liar. You have sent everything to BBC that I have shared with you too. I have all the screenshots, Justin, all of them, and Michael too, and too many others to count. You both thought it was a good idea to start going public with them, and now you're screaming, I was hacked, OHP's paid attention. That's all that's important. Stop making this all about yourself. Last I heard, I'm suddenly in high demand, and there's a reason for that, as you've only just now beginning to see and understand. Remember, you've admitted that you've self-recognized that you're an idiot. Those are your very own words. And as you can see, I could not give a bowel movement who blocked me. The last one got charged and the others into death. Gore pics with a... What? Let me just read that again. The last one got charged and the others into death. Gore pics with a kinky side. Right. Maybe that's why she's into the Noah's case, but I feel free not to block. What's kinky, eh? Annoyed who was charged. And Justin, George, you're a liar. I have every message between me and BBC, and it's not very many. You're going to look stupid when I share them. I've never shared anything with her, you liar. Big nose, Pinocchio face. Badger, strange new case, interesting. Junie, Alicia's response was odd in my opinion. We couldn't see or hear anything. Ref, you crack me up. Whoa, still going. Fleetwood lass. I know this is a very random question. I am in the UK. Well, that's good to know. It's a positive to see with time more people from the UK watching my videos, because I know it's not that many, so it's good. Fleetwood says, been following this case for 6 months. Could it have been a bear? They can crush a person to death and it would only be the top half. The party people have panicked thinking one of them have done it, hence the pointing fingers. Personally, I'm not too sure what the wildlife is out there, whether bears do exist in that place. Whatnot says, no bears live in that area or around. They call highway patrol bears, eh? Nope. They mentioned Goldilocks, but not Winnie the Pooh. Oh boy. But, you know, in terms of what Fleetwood Les is getting at, in terms of being crushed, maybe it's not a bear, but it could be another type of object, and others may panic. So, fair enough. Welcome to the channel, Fleetwood. We got Girl Be Natural. Says, thank you, you're welcome. Colourful profile picture. Popski, well done, Warlight Ref. Best video on the Noah community for a while. That's good to know. Robbie, best, most balanced video I've seen yet. Almost 1,500 views in 17 hours. Wow, great job on this one, bravo. So I appreciate that, Robbie, for the kind words. Much appreciated. What else do we have? Why is the person who Alicia shared the interview link with not shown here? Alicia trusted that person until said person leaked the interview. Yes, leaked it. That makes sense in terms of the wording. It's appropriate. As for her text message with LE, yes, she was defensive and untrusting for good reasons. For mums, she's had to defend her son, self and family. In my opinion, she's at her wit's end. Who wouldn't be after mums have been under the microscope? Add to that manipulated betrayal. Now, I would say fair point, but maybe not everybody will be pleased, but I do need to balance it out and I'll try and do that on the spot. So whilst, yes, Alicia may have been attacked, Caden too, harassed and much more, it can get a lot. It can get stressful. It can be difficult, especially when you've got day-to-day life, responsibilities and more. You do the best you can. It might not always be perfect. And whilst they have been under the microscope and maybe criticised very heavily at times, equally, there's a chance that you could apply that to an extent, in fairness, with maybe Jack Newton or BBC, Brooke Bounds-Carter, and some others looking under the microscope, really focusing heavy on those people too. So you can see it from both sides. Of course, some people don't do themselves any favours if they dig themselves into a hole by their own doing. CC, I said the same thing. Skippy, I agree with you. I posted a comment about this. Knows how many times it was then leaked. Her confidants may have told her they didn't share it, so she assumes she must have been hacked. Is she really IT savvy enough to know how hard it is to hack someone's account? The news has numerous stories about hackers, so she may naively think she too was hacked. So like a bit of a misunderstanding, breakdown in communication. You never know. Plus, after initially thinking the Dropbox was hacked, she did say she shared it with someone who leaked it. Victor. Warlight Raf, it wasn't the bloodbath on chat, but Jack's people were ready to attack. No, Alicia, Lee and Justin Roy have to go back and watch the video again. Wasn't able to give the full attention. You do what you can. What else do we have? Money, people trying to make money on this. Not sure, I believe Alicia Lee, but watching this again. Yeah, I mean, maybe last night or the night before, it got a little bit messy, the chat, but it is what it is. Robbie, there's no Jack's people. We're all Noah's people. We just follow logic and what little evidence there is and believe Jack and the other kids did not murder Noah. Victor, so much is coming out that shows manipulation and lies. Just look at this video. Look at the Jan video. Lisa says to Robbie, I strongly disagree. If anything, this case has too much evidence. Yes, that's a thing. Yeah, where people are getting so confused of sorting out the red herrings from the real evidence. And I guess that's the big contrast. Yes, I like to compare the Dylan Rounds case with the Noah Presgrove one, but you can compare the Kenny Veach case, mystery, missing person, to this true crime case, because with Kenny Veach, limited material, limited videos and research, meaning you had to scrape and crawl your way up to understanding and learning the different possibilities and going from there. But the positives were it was more under control, it wasn't as confusing, and it wasn't overwhelming. Whereas a case like this, if you're joining late for the first time, it will be overwhelming. When I started covering the Idaho 4 case, I joined late. To try and understand and process it all, it was a bit too much. To be on the same wavelength as people and to then maybe branch out, it's just not possible in a short space of time. So when it comes to deeper cases, ideally, you want to be jumping on them as soon as possible to learn and keep up with it. But it also comes down to the timing of what you're interested in and not. We got Jamie here. Looks like these kids need to be taught a big lesson since they feel the need to go around teaching other people lessons. Nasty kids. Robbie, let's spread those rumours. Victor, interesting in chat. Jack people are positive what happened to Noah. I'm not an expert. Was in the military and retired fireman. Nice. Fireman, lack of blood at scene has me confused. CC, yes, I do not believe that was the scene he was moved there. In my opinion, so many say the ME said. I've also heard 2 experts say there was no way it was a hit and run. So a person who could run their mouth all day at me, I've no idea why they're so desperate to make me believe what they believe. And I still remembered the words spoken by experts when the autopsy became available, and I can't erase what my eyes saw at the highway. Small pool of blood. Yes, a small pool of blood. Okay, some say there's a lack of blood, others say there was blood, but let's just focus on how the blood was present. What did it look like? A small pool, almost circular-like. No splash marks in between, no dribbles. What caused that? What caused that circular patch of blood? Was there an item that was already bloodied that landed in that spot and then the blood came off of it and seeped into the ground? Or was it like a spray, but there wasn't traces before or after it? No droplets. Maybe a separate video on that could be done. Robbie, so you were at the scene and I can't erase what my eyes saw at the highway. Small pool of blood, small pool of blood. So say, were you at the scene? How do you know that there was a small pool of blood? Well, it's actually documented. We've seen the photos of it. Maybe I'll have to do a video about it. CC, saw the brother's interview and description and saw the photos of the area. Yes, that's all you need to see. You don't have to be at the scene when people are filming it for the newscast. Yeah. Okay. Let's catch up there. She didn't give much info, but confirmed it would be shown via a YouTube channel. She didn't say when, just soon. Let's hope it's a reputable YouTube creator without a bias. Victor, well, yeah, I know I'm not going to watch unless Warlike Ref replays on his show. That could be very risky, couldn't it? Lisa, Robbie, please, it's time to step off the curb. What does that mean, jump? I can give you the reason Alicia Lee said she was hacked. Looking at it logically, she knew she had shared it with the donor, but the donor assured her that she did not leak it. So then Alicia believed she had been hacked. The liar is the donor, probably the same person who leaked Kane Press's private interview and lied to her about it, solved it. The problem is, has it been adjusted since? Or is still the mentality it's literally hacked? Robbie, she shared it with multiple people. You can't excuse her behaviour. She lied, period. What I want to know is why you stalk every post I make. Who is stalking? You're on a public page. And there you are again. You tagged me. You tagged me again and again. I agree. Alicia shared the link with confidence. One of them shared it with someone else who then leaked it to the public. Her confidence probably did not fess up that they had actually shared the link, so assumes she was just hacked. If her confidence tell her they didn't leak it, then what is she to think? You take a lot of shit, Raf. I appreciate you staying with this case. Anybody else would have walked away. Appreciate that. And yeah, a lot have walked. Who killed Noah? Victor, fully watched video. Sad when I heard the word opposition. Now, Alicia, spelled wrong, not wanting to show Caden's phone data and his timeline must not match, and like a man protecting him. Okay. Where have you been when the Combs people, that Newton people, etc. got attacked? What you call attacking is defending kids that are being called murderers with no proof. Do we have any evidence or descriptions, explanations, elaborations regarding party goers being attacked, harassed and property damaged? Never really saw much about it as like an add-on. Oh god, we've got some heavy conversations. Heard that local Ellie is not to be trusted for various reasons, hence Alicia probably cautious. May not totally trust. Yeah, Caden's points during the second interview, so she's already apprehensive when texting with this trooper. I'm just not seeing anything suspicious here. It just comes down to language and wording, right? At the end of the day, people interpret it differently. Does Alicia even have a copy of that actual video? Did Kathy send it to her or just showed it? Oh, of the highway stuff. If the video clearly showed someone removing the shorts, there would have been an arrest by now, surely, at the very least. But then again, if that's not the case, or the evidence is good, but people aren't taking action, the flip side would be, well, if no one's from the parties involved, but no one's been fully, officially, publicly cleared, well then, you can see it from both sides. It seems a bit problematic. So maybe the video isn't that clear, but Kathy is convinced the movement is of someone removing them and has convinced Alicia the same thing. So now she also believes it based on the limited view we have of the video. And it is very limited. Very well written, articulate. In the real world, in a real town, with real cops, yes, the video of the cops taking the shorts off and the victim would have been led to instant arrest. These cops, incriminating video, chuckled to themselves, yeah, so what? Was so disturbing, the interview, the private one, not because of what Caden was saying, but because of the reactions, pure evil. Yeah, it wasn't too good. Lesson note, iPhone, when you take live photos, does give you 2 seconds of live action. Yeah, I guess it could work at times. I've never really used it because it doesn't benefit me. Skippy says to Robbie, I can't find your original comment, but here's my response. Do not make general assumptions about what I've said. I did not imply that she never lies. My comment about not seeing anything suspicious was specific to her text with the trooper. I've not seen her statements saying she did not share the link, so I'll respond the best way I can. So it appears she set the record straight. Did she provide a list of people she shared it with? She may have assumed with her confidence and then lied to her face. She stated she feels people are twisting Caden's words, so why share further info publicly? Let them share their timelines and Ellie can compare them all. Here's a hypothetical example of how words can be taken out of context. Your sentence says, but nope, Alicia doesn't lie at all. Why are people reading your response focused only on that sentence and start saying that Robbie believes Alicia would never lie? Context matters. If Alicia provides his timeline, someone could pick out a specific time and say Caden lied because he gave a different time during an interview. Contradictory timelines, just as others have as well. Discrepancies don't advance the case and unfortunately cast doubt on the stories. I'll have to listen again. No clue what happened to my post either. I think YouTube eats them. Yep, they do. I think almost everything in it, though, was posed as a question, not an assumption. I can't be sure since I can't find my post. As far as to date, someone did a screenshot of the properties of the file when the original Dropbox link was sent back September. The last bit I posted, there's not any getting around. There's a new video. In it, Alicia starts telling the story of talking about Caden's recorded interview of HP to Kathy. Oh no. So, this comment 2 days ago, should it be read or not? I mean, it's a public comment. Anyone and everyone can already see it. I don't know, what's this really about, innit? Alicia starts telling the story of talking about Caden. See, this is the thing. If what I'm looking at on screen right now, people can't come at me or attack me or question me or tell me off because this is a bloody public comment. This isn't towards me. This is a public comment. which could have been posted anywhere, any place, any time. I have no clue what's going on here. I just want to make that clear. So let me just try and read it and see what the hell's going on. Alicia says in quotes, I had mentioned about how Caden had recorded his conversation with Trooper Anthony and Trooper Ross when he went to the OSBI office here in Duncan. She wanted to hear that video, that recording. So she's talking about the video in front of the courtyard that Raf shared a picture of. The courtyard? I don't remember a picture of that. This is actually a 229-minute video, the courtyard. Oh, at the household. Right. Strange thing is, for a video that can make a grown man cry, both Alicia and Kathy are super calm. Weird. Courtyard porch videos dated 6/5/2024 around, what's that, 2 in the morning or 2 p.m. something. His OHP interview, though, was after 6th to 5th, though, because one of the troopers said it's Tuesday night, referring to the interview in Caden's recording. If the interview was before 6th to 5th, Caden wouldn't know to tell the interviewers about taking off the shorts video. If the interview was after, how would Alicia tell Kathy about his OHP interview? Did her and Kathy stage the porch video? I don't have a way to show you either the mentioned videos. I don't have a talk about things I don't have access to, as have proven. Well, if for some reason Alicia and Kathy staged some porch video, then why would Kathy Bingham go out and attack Caden Pressey more in recent time when that leaked interview surfaced publicly and Kathy Bingham said, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, and then started doubting Caden, wondering if he was responsible for Noah's death, indirectly speaking. Let's not forget that. So that appears to be it, I believe, for the comment section here. Reasonable. I guess we just catch up on the next one. Here we are. I'm just going to click that. Start from the bottom. It's like 165 something comments, which is quite a lot. Oh my goodness. Just in Justin Roy's comment, there is a 53 thread reply. Insane. Crazy. At least we've already got like one video idea up to now. Let's just see what Justin has to say. Isn't one of the sisters dating a Texas boy from Bowie? Months ago, Jack Newton thought Noah was hit by a semi or the Texas boys did something to him when they left. This was not a hit and run, and someone from that party knows exactly what happened, in my opinion. Right, when you say one of the sisters, you mean Avery or Carter? More so Avery, possibly? Now, how does that link to this case, though? Response-wise, Safia, he was probably in on it with the Texas boys. We all know your opinion. Safia, why would they beat him so bad that they disfigured and internally decapitated him and knocked all his teeth out of his mouth? They had intent to kill, in my opinion. And if Avery called them over, she's an accessory to the murder, in my opinion. I think sometimes when you look at a scene or the injuries sustained to someone, if it's that brutal and it's not all in one go, you could question and highlight that maybe it was done, on purpose with intent. Safia, goddamn cowards. Jealousy of Noah, so they killed him, in my opinion. Beth Rose, and we're here for justice for Noah. Not sure why you are here. So there's been a couple of people in the chat recently that have accused Beth Rose being Vanessa Salazar. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've not seen Vanessa Salazar in recent time, so that's probably why other people out there are assuming that this Beth Rose is Vanessa in disguise. But in my opinion, how this person types and what they say is different language and wording to what Vanessa would. So it seems like two different people. What I am interested in, though, those that believe that Beth Rose is Vanessa, does anyone have proof of that? Because I've yet to see it. Moving on. And why do people assume it's Vanessa? Why do people jump to that? Exactly. Safia, Avery wanted to get out of the charges. Says, to watch you lie and harass people, not move along. Oh, there we go. We got the reference there. Jade, did any of the party goers you spoke to say something that made you lean towards foul play? Never seen you here before. Is it a default channel? Who knows? Justin, absolutely, but I'm not going to put it on here for them to get attacked. Right. And George comes on in. I'm hoping you told OHP because it sounds like you know exactly who murdered Noah. Dutton says, what a damn assumption. Stop spreading lies yourself. Before you start on me, I've had my account for a while. Justin responds, I have, and I've pretty good idea about what happened. There's literally only 2 scenarios and both are felony charges. Guess we'll see which one is true, and either way, foul play involved. George then says, but not premeditated murder, as would be the only acceptable outcome for Noah's Army. There was another case not too long ago where death occurred, and everyone was expecting the case to be tried as murder, with hefty prison sentences, whatnot. And once the dust settled, it got whittled down to a misdemeanor with probation and a fine and a handful of days in the local jail. It was by the book too. People were disappointed by that. Safia to Beth, man, the internet is a weird place. Depends where you are and who you're surrounded by. The internet can be a mysterious place. It can be a fun place. It can be a dark place. It can be a toxic place. It can be funny. It can be anything. You can come across good people online. You can come across bad people online. And if you're very lucky, you might come across the one online. Now, as for Justin, little boy George, I've never wanted it to be murder, never, but with everything I was told and the autopsy report and other things led me to believe this was indeed a murder in my opinion, and maybe everything was pushed that way for a reason to cover what really happened, only then, and God knows. By the end of the day, his friends made some very bad decisions, and that hit and run scenario was staged. Even you can't deny that. Those are still felony charges, just like the social hosting with weapons and a dare, felony charges, but I asked, it was just a simple accident in which you believe, why not just call for help if it's that simple? Why lie for over a year if it's just an accident? That makes absolutely no sense. They've had plenty of opportunities to come forward and tell the truth, yet didn't. Why not? Because there's definitely foul play involved and you know it. I think you're being lied to as well. Guess we'll see the truth, hopefully. Roy Big Boy. Oh no. Not being lied to, just using my head. Still felony charges, as you said, versus premeditated. Noah's Army retired, as you publicly mentioned, on purpose. Oh, here we go. You obviously aren't aware of this case I've touched on, and you should be. Right, okay. God, it's long, isn't it? I stand by that as well and don't know anyone there. Yeah, I can see right through them, and no, they've been arrested for anything. It's beyond me as rack up the charges. What case was this? Very interesting. Oh, we got Michelle, welcome. Not seen him for a bit. Commit multiple felonies to cover an accident, not an accident. Justin, thank you. It makes absolutely no sense. Definitely foul play. Why create fake accounts and push a false narrative if innocent, and why commit multiple other felonies just to cover up an accident? Beth says, I feel AC is the reasoning behind it. Avery Combs, as in the party guy. So my opinion has never targeted anyone. Another lie from George Choden, but think about this. Why would anyone commit multiple felony charges to cover just an accident? That makes absolutely no sense. And if these kids really are innocent of people, then there's certain people create fake accounts and push false narratives. And yes, I do believe foul play is involved. That's my opinion. You clearly thought the same way. Now, wonder what changed. Okay, Army page is geared towards only premeditated murder, unless those you've DM'd were also lying. I mean, let's just say that the Army page is geared towards premeditated murder and not acknowledging other possibilities. Well, then you could argue and say that the Sofa Sleuth page is geared towards a hit and run or an accident and not acknowledging the other possibilities. You want to split it down the middle. What else do we have? I have a right to my opinion, always have, and yes, I do believe in foul play, always have, and yes, I do believe Noah was murdered. Now, what's your thoughts on social hosting with weapons and a death, and don't still think the hit and run was staged because you used to before? I mean, do we have proof or screenshots of before and after people's outlooks changed on the case? Safia, Avery and Jack were both equally bad. They sure know how to stir the pot, but I'm leaning more towards Jack just because Noah came because Jack kept pleading with him. Now, wouldn't it be interesting, Safia, if there was like a text, a phone call conversation which we were able to get a hold of, just to listen to Jack's voice? How did it sound? Did it sound desperate? Did it sound persuasive? Did it sound normal? Was it like a script? I wonder. And what was Noah's mood at the time? Was there any resistance? Was he willing? Was he happy? Did he feel forced? I wonder. Justin, to George, I know exactly what y'all are trying to do and have been doing this whole time, but the blame game will not work. Playing the victim game will not. All of these kids have multiple chances to come forwards and do the right thing and to tell the truth long before any of these pages and long before the army page was created. You can try to blame me for them not coming forward all you want, but I've asked for the truth for months now. So again, why not tell the truth if it's just an accident? That in itself makes absolutely no sense to me. Why do everything they have done the last year if just an accident? Foul play is definitely involved and you know it. I'm done with you, George. You have been a snake this whole time. It's very back and forth, as you can see. Microeconomy because of the rich kids, your own terminology, and others' own terminology. But haven't certain people within the case said that they got deep pockets or they're well off and they got lots of money? So they've kind of made themselves known that some are well off. So again, each and every premeditated murder scenario you constructed has crumbled only to be replaced with another target. You should have just let OHP do their work. And are OHP doing enough work though? Nobody's ever denied social hosting violations. Nobody that the weapon component you keep on hammering home, 110% your input, choice of weapon have changed so many times. Not with me, though. And most importantly, yes, people do change their minds, as you've slowly been finding out when the evidence points to a non-premeditated murder. What case are you referring to? Oh, God. I'm glad you know that comment. I think it's possible if Jack hadn't lured Noah back that day that Noah could still have lived. Yes, lived another day, but as for the future, if there was another party, could have died at a later point, you never know. I believe he would have been okay, at least temporarily. Well, there we go, Safia has it under control, understands that. Why are you worried unless it's upfront and personal to you? I believe you are one of the vile parents or family members of these wild animals. Ooh. We're all here for justice for Noah, not to protect any wrongdoing or cover up, unlike you. I mean, the only pattern that I've noticed, and more so with the Dylan Rounds case, there is a range of people that claim that they care about the Dylan Rounds case or they care about the parents. They act all nice on Facebook, but then on YouTube they show a different side to their personalities and perspectives and cause harm and trouble and destroy the case and spread misinformation or create it in harmful ways. I do remember that back then. Do I see it here in the Noah Presgrove one? Not so much, because I won't know everyone. I've not monitored everyone because I've been more focused on the case itself, if that makes sense. Definitely a little boy George. Oh boy. Boy George, I hope it's not premeditated murder by his friends. What do you understand about that? God, it goes on and on and on. Oh. Well, if you want to read the comments yourself, you can. Okay. And that one too. If you want to pause it, you can. Let's see what else we have got. Bev, how much did you pay for that video you speak of, BJ? Oh, is Beth referring to BBC here? I will watch nothing that's full of your lies. You have no business speaking on any of their behalves and stating as facts when you weren't there. Were you there? You speak a lot. Yeah, so when you get these random default channels showing up out of nowhere, it's safe to say that, oh, I wonder what's going on here. I mean, but then again, this person joined 13 years ago. So it's not just on the spot. It's not like a dodgy account. This is 13 years ago when the person created it. So it appears to be like a real person. Safia, do we know if Jody was there, Avery's dad? Now, there was another comment by someone saying how there's all these weird mismatched or misgendered names, or I forgot what you call it, hybrid ones, where you can get a name where it can either be for a female or a male. And like Jody, you'd think, well, it sounds like a female name, but supposedly a male can have it too. It gets confusing, doesn't it? Supposedly, per Kane and Pressy, no adults were there. And at least from the footage, what we've seen in general, no adults were there. Such as parents, etc., there were obviously some over 18. Yeah. Maybe when other people are referring to adults, they're maybe more so specifically thinking about parents, guardians of a much older age. Because, you know, if we're talking about adults, anyone at the party over 18 and on, you're an adult age, still underage for drinking them at that point. So you'd say the majority of people at the party were close to or literally an adult. Yeah, weird. Beth, many lurkers outside though. Truth coming out. Oh, that's true. A couple I could name. Do you believe that BS story? Caleb out drinking with Noah's dad? I think Victor was threatened to say he was with Caleb, but I strongly believe Caleb was there close to the party. Really? I think this is making them very nervous right now. They don't know how much we know about this case. What else do we have? I thought from the start following this case that Caleb Newton was around close, not necessarily at the party, but just close by. You could ask yourself, how long did it take Caleb to get down to the highway when Jack called him regarding post-news of Noah's death? How long did it actually take? Then you could maybe work out how far Caleb really was from the place. Safia, I thought for quite some time that Caleb was there at the mobile home. Where is this mobile home? Tammy, Avery's daddy is from Texas. Maybe he was one of them looking for Noah, especially after Noah called Avery a bad name. We need to find out if Jody was in jail at the time of Noah's death. Any info? Well, I found out Jody most likely wasn't in jail at the time of Noah's death. Jody definitely wasn't in jail at the time of the party. Right. So, you're thinking there's a possibility that after Avery felt disrespected, was disrespected by Noah, decided to call the father, Jody, and then Jody thought, I'll come on down and teach Noah a lesson. But what about in the past? Besides this one time of Noah calling Avery a certain name and maybe more, was there ever a time in the past, a previous party where things were said, someone was disrespected, but it didn't lead to death? So what's different this time then? Victor, what video in the chat is BBC talking about? Mini-Mark cameras worked, I believe not the house cameras, yeah. It's not that Texas boys felt that much loyalty to Avery, they felt loyalty to her father Jody, who is also a Texas boy sitting in prison right now. That's why I think this is payback. Planned for months, really? I never heard Caden Pressey say the name Pepe. I did. Caden Pressey did say the name Pepe. I heard those names before. Texas boys. Pepe, Dylan, Alexis, or Alex, and Shaden. Is Shaden Shandy, the blonde female? Anybody know which episode, Partners in True Crime, Caden Pressey talks about Texas boys or Travis? If you're talking about episode-wise, Caden Pressey, at least publicly, only did one interview. At least publicly. The only other video, which was considered part 2, but still of the first interview, just a second video, was the 10 remaining minutes. Whether it was mentioned in that one or the full length, or most part of it, the really only one that was publicly uploaded, you just have to type in on YouTube, Caden Pressey, Partners in True Crime interview, and you will get it immediately. You don't have to know the episode number, you just type in Caden Pressey, Partners in True Crime. Is Noah's real father dirty? So weird Noah's father was out with Caleb Sunday night. Noah was so desperate to get out there, he even called his father. What kind of father says, no, my son, I'm too busy out drinking with Caleb to come and rescue you from a party? I mean, you can look back at it more now in a more critical way with what happened to Noah in the end. If it was just such as Noah wanted to leave, didn't get the chance or opportunity, had to stay there, was a bit moody, woke up the next day, still alive and survived. As for the father, it wouldn't be as critical on him as much. But Janet Kennedy says that Victor Presgrove is a terrible father. Ooh. That's not coming from me, that's what was said on screen. What else do we have here? True, I don't believe Noah asked anyone for a ride or to have his back. Plenty of people there to give him a ride, and no one besides Caden Pressey says he wanted a ride. Only JR says Noah asked BS to have his back. Too many rumours. Interesting. I'd like to be certain that he called his father Justin. Caden Pressey literally said 2 times that Noah asked him for a ride home, and yes, Noah called others for a ride home, and I'm definitely not going to share any information with you, but it'll come out. It's also quite possible that Caden Pressey forgot to mention to Alicia Lee that Noah had been asking for a ride home all night and to make sure she gives him one. Definitely possible. After nobody would give him a ride, he just decided to stay and have fun. But at one point in time, he wanted to go home, that's a fact. And obviously, some people he contacted are taking it harder than others. Don't think Noah planned on being there that long, in my opinion. Dutton, thank you. I think he just gave up. I agree. So do you think Noah Presgrove gave up before or after that side-by-side rollover? Let me know. John, does Avery have plenty of people that have done it? I really don't believe she would call people to beat him up now. They try and blame on those kids when everyone knows it was Jack and his cronies. That's what I believed from the beginning, says Patricia Ramirez. I'm not saying Avery did anything, but it's suspicious that the night before he called her a fat beep, Noah may have been messing around with a friend, Logan Jernigan, and Avery like Noah, then Noah ends up dead suspiciously. Coincidence? What, like, if I can't have you, then she can't have you, something like that, so I'll take you away completely. You guys are assery to this crime, so most of you will go to prison. Let me just untick that for a second. Who's this actually mentioned them? Cinnamon. That's a good hair colour, that, in the profile picture. Two-tone. Never seen that combination before. Cinnamon says, you should get off YouTube and go to school, darling. CC, I love it when detractors from the case come over and try to steer the narratives. See, I think the thing is, this person, John, who's he calling an arse? Who exactly? The people within the case and how they've acted? I'm not too sure. I had to reflect on that. John, what happened to Noah's phone? Law enforcement have both. Noah's wallet and hat, wonder where those are at. Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery, a bit. It was Jack Newton who said it couldn't be the Texas boys because they didn't know him. But isn't it also Carter Combs that at some point said, I didn't know Noah Presgrove either? So they wouldn't have had beef with Noah. One of the more asinine answers Jack Newton given. To be honest, for Texas boys to not know Noah Presgrove, the chances of having beef with Noah could be higher. Because when you're strangers, you don't understand one another. You're not on the same wavelength. You don't have the same sense of humour, maybe, or the same understanding. More chances of misunderstanding. And that can lead to conflict. That can lead to drama escalating. At least he knows when he graduated. Janet, that is faulty reasoning. Ever heard of hit men? One day, first Jack said hit by truck, then he claimed it might have been the Texas boys. In Partners in True Crime interview, he says it couldn't be the Texas boys. I mean, if Jack was to go from believing it was, then it wasn't, and with time there was a space of learning or finding out possible info to prove that it couldn't be them, then fair enough, but did that really happen? Or was it just Jack changing it again, like with other stuff, randomly? Safia, then didn't Jack Ass also say he thought it could be the Texas boys, but it wouldn't have been intentional, so which is it, Jack? Justin, I meant Noah never walked to the highway. Right, so when Justin said Noah never left, Noah never walked away, Justin meant Noah never left the property to get to the highway. He never walked 1.2 miles away without his belongings, in my opinion. That's too far just to cool off. Makes no sense. Fair enough. I agree for most part of it. Safia, I never believed Noah walked off onto the highway. I myself did a video suggesting it only out of desperation for Noah. You know, if he had all his options run out and turned down, what else does he have? If he just pleaded and gave up and said, you know what, I'll just stay here the night. Yeah. But if Noah was in danger, felt there was something off, well then that would be a reason to be walking away, even if it's not realistic enough. Would you rather take your chances going towards a highway or stick around knowing that you could die? Based off that condition and theory, or more so scenario. Jade, do you know if it's true if the party house had another party a week after Noah passed away? Well, Justin confirmed that, I believe. Caden Pressey confirmed it in one of the interviews as well. Jan Friorillo mentioned that they actually had a party a week before the Labour Day one and Avery's birthday. So that's interesting. Who attended that, I wonder? And Jan said the party before that was actually reported to police. For what reason? Don't know. Was it followed up on? No. That's a shame. So if the police didn't care beforehand when there was something reported in, then what makes you think they would have cared when it did happen with Noah on the other party? Lisa, murder planned long before Noah ever called Avery a fat beep. I didn't help the situation any, but it was not the cause of the fight. Right. I personally don't think so. When Noah called her a fat beep, it was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay. Escalation. Didn't help the situation. Could it have sped it up like a catalyst? I think what would have infuriated more would have been that he was with Logan Jernigan, her housemate, the night before on the floor. Seemed to be flirting pretty heavily with Shandon, the blonde girl, on Saturday. Is that true? Have we seen that? None of this matters. Texas boys were called, invited to the party by Avery the week before. Right. Okay. How do we know that the Texas boys attended the party the week before? And who else was present? Lisa to Sherry, you're entitled to your opinion, but you're not going to get an MOB killing like this where... Okay, come on, people. Yes, Avery was the one that invited the Texas boys to come. Mark, agree with Justin Roy. Noah never walked off, in my opinion, because he couldn't stand up. How can one go anywhere if they're so drunk and exhausted they need help being held up? Right, so in this case, Mark believes that Noah never walked out of the house. I don't think he was drunk. I think he was dying. Really? Sadly, around that time, yeah. I'm saying going off partygoers' witness accounts, Noah was so drunk he couldn't be held up to bathe himself. But at the same time, people are saying it was teabagging people shortly afterwards. So which one's correct? People had to hold him up in the shower, right? We know that much. Then how can somebody wander off? They can't stand up unless temporarily they were a little bit drunk or a bit dazed. Then give or take a bit of time, they came back to life. Not in that way. And we got Pinky LaRue, an individual that complains and whines about the length of my videos, but spends enough time to be able to comment. Interesting, rather. Carter said he didn't actually need to be held up, and that Carter said he didn't actually need to be held up. That a guy friend of Noah's got in the shower with him. Well, when you compare what Brooke says on behalf of Carter and then what Carter says herself, there is a difference. Carter said we did help him up. We tried to hold him up. So a form of physical contact would have been made there, even if it's just minor. So we've got to understand that. What else? But Jack fought with Noah over how friendly he was being with Carter earlier in the night. He was jealous and upset enough that it caused a fight and argument between Noah and Jack. But at what time? So explain how Jack was so upset that his best friend Noah was so flirty with Carter yet allowed her to shower him. But was Jack aware that Carter was showering Noah though? Or did Carter do it in a sneaky way? I wonder. Would you let your girlfriend shower your best friend when other people there, including yourself, could do it? How is Noah too drunk to shower but fine to argue and then stomp off down the road? So, yeah. Been said that they were slapping him, trying to get him to wake up, yet nobody calls 911. It's been said that people were slapping Noah when he was dead or something. What? Never seen that before. I've yet to see the shower video, but truly believe he was either dying in the shower or shortly afterwards when they reported him missing. So if he's in the process of dying, but let's take a dying person into the house. I don't know, it just seems a bit weird, that. You want to pause the video, you can. Janet, just give someone a beating is against the law, let alone causing the death. Right, how many years will roll by without any progress? You lost me. Who was asking for a beating exactly? Oh no. Suspicion from the beginning that it was Texas boys. Okay. Avery's older brothers were apparently there or showed up, and they were all good friends with Jack. All of them are from Texas. Well, I didn't know Avery had brothers. Really? Who are the brothers? Well, how did the Texas cowgirl magically get home after ditching Caden's cousin Georgia as she got back with the Texas boys all around when no incident happened? Texas cowgirl. What, Shandy? The blonde one. She was there only Saturday though, right? Savia, pretty soon we'll get to watch them all turn on each other. Really? I would have thought that would have happened a long time ago already. Just goes to show, in my opinion, that everyone knew about this beforehand and was prepared, willing to cover. Can't wait till one of the ladies breaks up with one, F the Texas crew, and he goes ape shit. I wonder. Shout out to Glenn. Skeptical. Ooh, that's a long one. On the other hand, just a nice piece of spaghetti stick. So-called footage of the Texas boys leaving could also be part of the stage setup, the crime that ended Noah's life, considering Noah was recorded. Yeah, why were the cameras only working when a certain set of individuals left and no one else before or after? Spencer, what a gal. Thank you for the information on video clip coming out. BBC, round of applause from what Spencer says. Marvin, every time I think about people in rural areas, all I see is a bunch of inbred method and hillbilly hosts, male and female. Everyone is done with each other at some time. Easy on that opinion, please. We aren't all in that classification. Some of us have morals and respect for ourselves. DHS is Duncan High School. Well, there we go. Thanks for clearing that, Sherry. Is there actual proof that the Texas boys were checked and cleared, or is it just another rumour? I don't know personally. We've got someone else. Gary, I always thought it was Texas boys who did it to Noah from the start. I suggested it at one point only because of the stranger situation. If you don't know someone too well, and if Noah's known for pranking people, could it be a prank gone wrong at some point? Maybe. George, it's too late to be putting in my opinion in front of your accusations in my opinion. Wait, who's this in response to? Let OHP do their job and stop fabricating info and interfering in an open investigation. Sure, ATV could have been driven by your relatives for all we know. Oh. Whose cook are you? Oh no. Jans or Isabel? Who the hell's Isabel? Is she still going through your messages at 3 a.m. to see who the F you been diddling? Right, I don't know where this is going. So I guess this comment by George is aimed towards Justin Roy. Great video, appreciate that. And Joe, another great analysis, still sticking to my theory, Noah in a rush to leave, put on one of Ken Press's shoes, leaving on the side-by-side and was pursued by others in a vehicle like Jack Newton's from the back of the pickup truck. A golf club was swinging at him, resulting in a blunt force injury to his left side. After a fatal swing from above, he lost control of the side-by-side and it flipped. That'd be rather interesting, that, and quite a commotion. If that was the case, Joe, I wonder what that video footage would look like, the one that Caden Pressey was showing, whether it's the full length or just the after effect, and why would it be recorded? Wouldn't that be incriminating? So pretty much that concludes today's video. I just wanted to catch up in general before I neglect it, because I didn't have a chance to acknowledge the comments before. That's why I do this now. Maybe it's opened up some new discussions or questions you've not seen before, and maybe we can go on from there. I've at least got an idea for another video from this, which is a positive, and see what people have to say about it. And in the meantime, there might be other notes I need to cover, and who knows what's around the corner. Hopefully you somewhat enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night for now.